Welcome to Storytime with Megan. I told people I would start off like that because a lot of this, unlike Bronson's awesome lead-in, I don't really do knock-knock jokes. Sorry, Bronson. I appreciate it. I really didn't have anything to say, so that really would have helped me like 6 hours ago. I appreciate it. I had a hard time coming up with something to say this time. Melissa called me, and she was like, hey, can you do this again? And I thought to myself, well, I'm not really that funny. So, okay, I'll try. So it happened to be that I started thinking, and I was like, oh my gosh, I get the lineup and I see that there's like a lot of other people doing comedy, and I was like, okay, Lord, we're really here to help support them to go to Haiti, and so that needs to be my intent, my focus, and it's not about trying to impress these people, it's just also trying to be the most funny one up here, and that's really the hardest thing to do. She was really good. And she stole half my jokes, so I'm gonna have to like cut out some stuff. No, they made me play another one. So this morning, that's awesome. So this morning I was praying and I was like, Lord, I really need some help with coming up with something to say, because all of the like 15 minutes I've worked on it for the last week, it's not really panning out for me. But this morning I had to get up and run, the Woodlands Marathon relay, right? So don't get too excited, because I'm in the relay, and although my IT band is like killing my life, I still have all my toenails, so that's like the most exciting part. And so I'm sitting there and I'm waiting to start, and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, so it's like 45 degrees out, and we're getting ready to go, and I finally get to my leg of the race, and about 4 miles in, I start to panic, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I have nothing to say tonight, and I like to start praying. I'm like, God, you know, you're pretty funny in my life sometimes, so if you could just like show me something to do, like to talk about, that would be fantastic. So I start running, and I'm running at like wonderful like 13-minute mile pace, a slow jog, and I sit there and I'm like hyperventilating because running is a new hobby for me, and I just don't understand that why you feel that it's a good idea to not be able to breathe at any one point in time. And I'm going along, and I realize that they're stopping traffic because you're going through an intersection. And you get to this point where they're getting ready to stop the traffic, and the policemen are like, oh, stop, stop, stop. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm like waving to people, you know, whatever. And all of a sudden, I'm going along, and this 80-year-old woman out of almost like hover round comes and almost clips me in the crosswalk. And she's thinking like, I really hope that she places 10th in the over 80 division, because she certainly had a leg up on me. So I'm sitting there, and I'm also a physical therapist, and I started, I think that form and breath control are really important in running, along with your toenails. And so I decided to get new shoes and new clothes, and I'm going out there, and I read this article on running, and they have this thing on there about how to have a running date. And I just thought that to be really odd. Like, does anybody else think that's a really bad idea? Because not only, like, I just think there's something wrong with the fact that, like, on a first date, you're profusely sweating and hyperventilating. So it's really inappropriate. But I have to admit that, I was really blessed, because the Lord answered prayer. And, like, that was really the big deal of what happened today, is that the Lord answered my prayer, like, coming up to something to say, even though I was completely clueless for 90% of the day. I was, like, trying to memorize it as I'm driving to church this afternoon. And I thought about the other ways that He answers prayer in my life, and church people, they're really good about praying. They're like, Lord, you know, I don't want to be patient, because then you're just going to give me more opportunities and ways to be patient. And I thought about this in my own life. A couple weeks ago, my class was going to Church Under the Bridge, and I'm driving around downtown for like 45 minutes, like stalking homeless people, because I can't find where anybody is. Like, have my window rolled down, like trying to listen and feign an ear for an off-key tune of like, our God is an awesome God. And it just made me realize, like, how is it that when I'm stopped at like 6:10, I can have like 5 homeless people cleaning my windshield, but I'm gonna try to show them the love of Jesus, and like they're nowhere to be found, and it was really a big problem. So then I also started thinking about other ways that the Lord wanted me to like start praying, and I was like, okay, God, I really want you to just show me ways and opportunities that I can witness and be a better witness. And so A couple months ago, I'm driving along 59, doing about like 85 on the way to work, and all of a sudden my car cuts off. Now let me kind of give you a little back history. I had a 2007 PT Cruiser, right? And I'm convinced that this is like the worst car known to man. And like there's some cars that you have when you drive them, everybody's really excited to own and to talk about. And like the VW Bug, like when people drive the VW Bug and they see other people driving the VW Bug, they like give you the little peace sign because they're so excited. They're like, oh yeah, you drive. I've decided that the sign for the PT Cruiser is this. So know that you actually drive a PT Cruiser is absolutely terrible. So I'm in the lane and it cuts off, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm late for work and I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I keep throwing money into this terrible car, and I'm just gonna have to get it towed. So the guy that comes to tow my car has like this massive, enormous, like swollen hand, and it looks like he's just stepped out of a scary movie. And that's exactly who you want picking you up off the freeway. And so I'm sitting there, and because I have no problem chatting with just any random person and stalking homeless people, I decided that I would just start talking to him about his hand, because injuries are my thing. And so I'm like, how's the hand? You know, are you like, what are you doing? What happened? So he's all of a sudden like opens up about his liver pills and his family fights and like this fact that his cousin that like twice removed is dying. And I did have the opportunity to witness to him, which was a really great experience. But I really was just going to be more specific in my prayers next time, because I think that was like the most costly witness experience I've ever had, and next time I want something a little bit more in my budget. So, so anyway, I also wanted to say that I'm very glad that God gives me all these wonderful random opportunities to come up here and share with you guys tonight, and also the opportunity to find humor in lots of daily things like going to the dog park. And so just to be able to do that with you guys tonight is fantastic, and I hope that we can also share in the trip with Haiti by supporting them in what we do too. So thank you.